Welcome back to the Matter of Facts podcast on the Prepper Broadcasting Network. We talk prepping, guns, and politics every week on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify. Go check out our content at mwfpodcast.com on Facebook or Instagram. You can support us via Patreon or by checking out our affiliate partners. I'm your host, Phil Rabalais, and my co-host, Andrew Bobo, is on the other side of the mic, and here's your show. Wah, wah.
Wah, wah.
Gillian
Sorry.
made it awkward again.
I was trying really hard not to make it weird because you asked me before we even started, are you going to make this weird? And I said no, that I wasn't, and I did.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So,
wah, wah.
It's a Monday afternoon. Andrew's out of pocket. I asked Gillian to come in with me for a lighthearted, fun show that we're going to talk about, like, nothing of major consequence. Just have some fun.
Let's have fun.
Yeah. Before we do, though,
Monday.
I've been told I have to handle the administrative work before we get to the tomfoolery. So, Prepper Camp, the last day to buy tickets was yesterday. It's too late. But if you're going, please, for the love of God, stop by the vendors area. Look for me and Andrew. We'll be there for several hours on Friday and Saturday. And as far as I know, we'll be there all day Sunday hanging out. So, come by, say hi. Don't be a stranger. I mean, we're kind of hard to miss, quite frankly. New merch agreement has been officially started with the Southern Gals. So in previous years, we had a little Teespring store. We never really promoted it much. It was never really a revenue driver for me and Andrew. It was more we kept getting requests for it, so we indulged our listeners. And now we've been approached by some friends of the show who run a small business, and they're going to take over doing all of our merch. So the new link for Matter of Facts merchandise is down in the show description, and we're going to start to promote that. I actually meant to wear one of their shirts for this show, but like this was kind of spur of the moment. So
I mean, you could just go get them and hold it up.
Yes, but that would make this even more awkward if I ran out of the frame and ran back into the frame. Suffice to say, we'll start being a little bit better about that. But that is a new thing, and the link is down in the show description.
What about, can I promote me?
No.
I can't?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so tomorrow, the Women Who Prep Conference is going to open up registration. I am going to be a guest speaker during this conference. It is April 20th through the 24th, and the really cool thing, it's all online. So you can go to different guest speakers and listen to them, and then we'll have an open panel discussion that will be live, so you can, talk to us live. And I don't know if I'm going to be on the open panel discussion yet, but I do know that I'm a guest speaker, and my topic is prepping with kids. So I'm going to talk about the story of how we got into prepping, and then how we've incorporated Piper into this whole experience and lifestyle with us. Anyway, you can go to their Instagram page, and it is called Women Who Prep, and you will find all the information. You'll get to see all the guest speakers that are there, and registration again opens tomorrow. So it is April 20th through the 24th, this coming up April, so 2024. Yay.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes for you, hon.
Me too. I think it's going to be fun. I'm not really nervous at all because it's a pre-record. It's a pre-record. I don't know. I think we've been living this lifestyle for quite some time now that I can confidently speak to prepping with kids. So,
I mean, you could always tell them about the moment you thought I was nuts as an icebreaker.
Yeah, I'm sure that will come up. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I get to kind of call the shots on my own presentation, but yeah. Anyway, it's not just for women. I do want to say that. It's also for men. It's just, I don't know.
But I am glad that that event is being put on, though, because, this is something that Andrew and I have commented on several times over the years, and a lot of people commented on, it's been very frustrating for us to see prepping as something that should be very universal, and yet it's always kind of unintentionally felt like a boys' club. Mm-hmm. And not because we wanted it to be, but just because we never we never saw many women getting into prepping, and then we never saw a lot of women kind of being elevated to talk to other women about that lifestyle.
Yeah,
and even when you had somebody like Jane Austen in the group, and Jane is a dynamo, but she's one.
Yeah.
And
there is actually a big group of women who are preppers. And so Allison, with This Prepared Life on Instagram, she is heading up this conference. She's the creator of this conference. And then the pool of women that are guest speakers, it really blows my mind. And so, but then when I go to her site and start reading through the comments, and we're talking like hundreds and hundreds of comments from women who are either just starting out in this lifestyle or they've been in it for quite some time. It really amazes me that there are so many women out there who have taken this on as the lead in their family to be prepared for whatever, like you always say, what's your zombie? Well, these women are doing it. And so I don't know. I think it's going to be such a great event, and I hope it grows. And I really hope that women start to see this as something other than like doomsday preppers kind of thing,
God,
so
my distaste for that show
I
is
know.
legendary.
But
at this
it's
point.
not that, and that's what we've always tried to get away from, is that stigma of, oh, you live in a bunker. Well, no, we don't. My neighbors are cutting their grass right now.
This is the nicest daggum bunker I've ever seen.
I'm telling you.
There's cute stuff on the walls and blue dog right there and kid pictures over there. I mean, no, we don't live in a bunker. We take preparing for life's little emergencies, I would say, a little more seriously, to a little bit more degree than the average person does. Mm-hmm. But, like we just talked about yesterday on Raising Values, like, you're never going to hear either one of us say, don't put away for retirement. Like, everything into ammo and, MREs right now. Like, there's a limit.
Yeah. And speaking of Raising Values, some of our Raising Values merch will also be on that website that you can shop for, and I hope that you can go and buy something and promote the podcast. Yeah, because we do things like that. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. This is your fun. You had an idea for a fun show.
So first, let's start with the little thing. I had a little bit of fun with some of the patrons from Matter of Facts about a week ago, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I told her. What?
No, then I just now remember what we're talking about.
I told everybody, I'm like, hey guys, at the end of the world during SHTF, what's going to be your post-apocalyptic warlord outfit? And I led. Mine's at the very end because it's all in alphabetical order, and that kind of set the tone for the silliness that was to come out. I don't think many of them were serious answers.
And don't forget that you have to describe what these things look like for the audio listeners.
Yes.
So this is a good time to go back and rewatch this on YouTube, Rumble, or Facebook.
Or I will.
You're going to want to see these pictures.
I will make a point of putting these on Instagram and Facebook just for those that cannot enjoy this.
If nothing else, no one is going to mess with our group because they're going to be scared out of their mind that we don't have a mind, that we are out of our minds. Wait till you see these pictures. This is insane. Okay.
So this is the first one. This is from one of our patrons, Brian. And he's gone for the now you see me, now you don't. Like.
Okay. Am I really looking for something? Because I didn't see this one.
Okay. So.
Is he in a ghillie suit?
Yes. There somewhere in there is at least, matter of fact, I think I can see at least one operator in a ghillie suit that's all tied into everything. Hey, Eddie said hi.
Oh, hi. Hi,
Although,
Eddie.
I'm not sure why. Him calling me dad feels weird, but him calling you mom feels very wholesome.
I will always be the MOF mom.
You're like the den mother to a bunch of psychopaths.
Yes. As we are about to begin talking about my psychopath children with these pictures. Yeah. All right, Eddie. I hope that you submitted your end of the world.
He didn't, actually.
Oh, Lord. Well, you're grounded.
Well, he would probably pick the same one I did, which is at the very end.
Anyway. Phil's. Okay, so
yeah,
there's
Brian,
obviously people in ghillie suits there.
Brian Brian has gone for the Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Okay.
This was Chris.
This guy, every time he comes across my feed, I laugh. All right, Chris.
Okay, now, for context, I posted this and said, which one of y'all is going to pick this? And if I recall correctly, Chris actually, claimed this one after I posted it. But yeah, this is an Instagram account called, I think, Social Regression or something like that. He sings emo covers of songs dressed like this wonderful creature.
And just so you know, our little audio listeners, he's got a headpiece that is all like poofy black feathers, and it looks like he's got on so he's dressed in all black. His face is painted white with eyeshadow and eyeliner and all that stuff, and black lips. It looks like he's got on black.
I know what vibe this is.
Okay.
Okay, do you remember from the 90s the heavy metal band Gwar?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So, well, for anybody that watched Beavis and Butthead, and I'm dating myself just a tiny bit, but the band they always talked about was Gwar, and it was like they dressed up in these outfits like they were space aliens wearing like battle armor and stuff, and then they thrashed out on the guitars. This guy is a mix between Gwar and an anime supervillain.
Yeah, okay. All right. It does look like he has on a spiky turtle shell on his back. And maybe looks like he's wearing a rim on his arm. I don't know. You got to go see the pictures if you're audio listener. That Phil's going to post on Instagram. But
wait a second, Eddie. Tell me you drank with Gwar, and we're going to have a conversation. I see. He's dressed similar to old school Dimmu Borgir, which I'm not familiar with, and I'm probably butchering that pronunciation horribly.
yeah. Anyway, you got to go look at that picture. Okay, so Chris, you've got a lot to do to get this outfit together, so you might want to start now. It looks like the leggings are pretty intense, and the platform boots, and of course you have to have the picnic table because he's always standing on a picnic table when he's singing these songs. Intergalactic Wrestling Federation. Yes. Okay. Next slide. Let's see what we have. Oh, yes.
This is Gillian, and I approve of this one.
You do because she's not wearing a bra.
Well, yes. But the sleeveless top, the midriff showing, and the hippie skirt, I can get behind this look for you, honey.
Of course you can.
Yeah, I'm a man.
I want to be the witchy poo lady in the woods who's foraging and gathering up all the things that you're going to need when the intergalactic wrestling guy standing on the picnic table pierces someone's eye out with his feathered hair.
Based.
Something like that. I don't know. So yes, this is my look. It is simple, and I'm going to have herbs and witch's brew. All of that. Okay. Next
is Jordan. So this was an animated GIF, and I wish I could have got it to integrate a little better into the slideshow. But this is the scene from Tropic Thunder where he's one of the main characters. He has like the panda head panda head as a hat, and he's out in the woods. So yeah, Jordan is going for the scare the enemy to death look, or confuse them.
Are we talking about
death.
Jordan Smith?
Nope.
Jordan.
Different Jordan.
Oh, Jordan, new Patreon.
Yeah.
Patron. Okay, new Jordan. Okay. Okay. So it's a panda.
Oh, Jesus, Eddie. Do you see the
I
comments?
saw it. We're bypassing.
She's not my mom, though, so, you know.
Next.
Nathan has gone full-on old-school, like, late 80s, early 90s pro wrestler. I kind of dig the look.
Yes, but this one kind of looks like the Mexican wrestler. What are they called?
Luchadors?
Luchadors? I think that's
No, luchadors would wear a mask, not just face paint.
well, this guy
And they'd be
has
about-
on enough face paint to be a mask.
But a luchador would also be about 100 pounds lighter than him.
That's true. I don't know. I just see what's his name, Jack Black, when I see this picture
Oh, Jesus.
from that movie. but he's dressed in all black with black cuffs on his wrists.
Oh, from Nacho Libre?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
I told you. Nobody's going to come up to us, not because they're scared of us hurting them. They're scared that whatever we have is going to spread. Whatever brain-eating amoeba.
So I think I'm the only one left.
Okay. This one is Phil's. I'm not even going to.
No, I was wrong.
Okay. Nick's is the only one that is okay. Like, this isn't going to really scare anybody.
Well, there was also Brian, who's, hiding out in a ghillie suit in the woods where nobody could see him. But yeah, Nick has gone for the full-on OD green, early Vietnam era, late 60s.
Yeah, it makes me think of MASH. That's really what it makes me think of is MASH.
Eddie, don't beat me to the punchline. Just be patient, son.
Next.
And last but not least.
Oh, Lord.
I am going full-on Lord Humongous, Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla, Lord of the Wasteland.
With a codpiece.
With a codpiece and combat boots. And a hockey mask. Although, I'm not sure how the hockey mask and the long beard is going to work together, so we might have to, figure that out.
What is this? This looks like something X-rated, shouldn't even be. I know what it is.
Is Road Warrior.
I've seen this movie. I know what it is. I've seen it a few times. I actually watched this with my dad a few times. But
so you already know how this is going to work.
Okay, so look at this picture with him in his strappy leather breastplate minus the plate thing, whatever that is. And then this helmet that goes to his shoulders and a codpiece and then boots. And then picture me next to you in my hippie vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a pair we'll make.
Okay, so Eddie said it needs spikes. The little wrist pieces, the arm pieces have spikes, it looks like. Are you talking about the cod piece? Oh my God, we're moving on. I can't even with you guys. You all are. I knew that was coming. I knew because I was part of this text group. Which, by the way, Lord, I can't with you people. I posted my
Fellow
picture.
men of culture.
I posted my picture in the group, and then Stuart totally burst my bubble by asking me all these questions, and then I pouted off like a little spoiled brat, and I was like, I'm not playing your game anymore. I went into the office and I was like, I'm done playing your stupid codpiece game. I don't want to play anymore. Anyway, that was fun. I have to consider our friends. I have to think about and I agree with Eddie. This is why we all get along, but I have to wonder sometimes about our mental stability in this group.
Oh, I don't even wonder about it anymore. I am thoroughly convinced we have no mental stability at all.
Yeah, I think if you become a patron, which I totally recommend for obvious reasons, then you would be privy to quite the entertaining chat. We have a group chat with all of our patrons, and it gets a little interesting at times. Yeah, so yeah, lots of fun. And then there's more fun to come.
Yes, there's more fun to come. So this kind of spawned about because we got into a conversation, I think yesterday, actually, talking about...
Yeah, you were talking to Piper about this.
Yeah, stupid laws. Now, for context sake,
okay,
the audience knows I'm a libertarian, which means I believe that 98% of our laws are stupid for various reasons. Sometimes because, okay, Joe, patron, the lowest tier starts at $1 a month. So, I mean, if it's something you want to look into, definitely reach out to me afterwards. But for $1 a show, I mean, you get, or for $1 a month, you get to join in this nonsense. And
Eddie, I'm going to block you. You're going to be silenced.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Don't
Don't listen to Eddie. And Eddie, don't get me banned off YouTube by continuing that conversation.
Let Joe just become a patron for $1, and then he'll learn the ways of the patron.
He'll learn the hard way what he's gotten himself into. But anyway, so we were talking about stupid laws, and some stupid laws that like I am familiar with in the local area that best I'm aware have never been repealed, and they are fantastically stupid. And that got me thinking.
Okay.
About whether or not there was a comprehensive list of stupid laws in other states. And apparently, Reader's Digest has compiled a list of 50 of the dumbest laws in every state. And I thought it'd be fun to look through them and comment how we think. I will say, though, when we get to the Louisiana law, that one's legit. Y'all leave that one on the books. That one's good.
Okay.
I mean, we'll see if...
Is it you can't ride your alligator down the street? No, don't tell me. We'll get there. We'll get there.
All right. So let's start with Alabama.
All right.
Home of...
Kyle and Holly.
and Southern Gals.
And Southern Gals, so Chris and Tiffany.
No stink bombs or confetti.
What? Seriously? You can't have confetti in Alabama? Okay, I quit. We gotta go to
Also
Florida.
illegal, spray, string, confetti, and bathing in public fountains. I mean...
Because those are all the things that go together.
I mean, yeah, the bathing in public fountains thing is kind of like hot. It's like you said yesterday. If it's a law, somebody did it.
I know.
I get that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know. Seems like if somebody does something untoward with a thing, you just deal with the person, not ban the thing. But, you know. So, yeah, if you're in Alabama, apparently no fun.
Yeah, really. And that's been on the law since the 1980s.
I can believe it.
From the 80s film, consider moving to... Okay, all right. No stink bombs or confetti, guys.
Alaska. No getting drunk in a bar.
How non-Louisianian.
Well, in Louisiana, we get drunk everywhere.
Well, yes. You can go through the drive-through daiquiri shop, and as long as you don't have the top of the straw paper off the straw, it is not an open container.
Okay, so before we continue to Alaska, what she's referring to is there are these things down here, and for anybody that has ever been down here, you understand this, but for the people that have never been to Louisiana, let me explain to you the lunacy of this great state that I call home. Somehow, they managed to convince a body of lawmakers, and apparently some judges along the way, because this has never been successfully challenged in court, that you can have a quote-unquote drive-through daiquiri shop, and a daiquiri is basically like, what, a fruit slushy with booze in it.
Booze, yeah.
I'm trying to explain to somebody who's never had a daiquiri.
Yes, okay.
So, you can have a drive-through daiquiri shop where you drive through, and somebody hands you a cup full of booze, and then you drive off, and this is not illegal. As long as the lid has not been punctured, or some places will actually shove a straw through it, and then they'll leave the paper on top of the straw, and it's not an open container.
As long as that's there, it's not an open container. Or if the straw's not in, it's not an open container.
Yeah. Now, somebody did point out to me, like, but wait a second, you could, like, lift the lid, take a sip, put the lid back down, right? And I'm like, and people do all the time. It's not an open container.
We don't talk about that. Although I am not an advocate for drinking and driving. I hope there aren't anyone is, but my grandmother was pretty much killed by an intoxicated driver, so... All right.
Yes, Eddie. To-go alcohol.
To-go alcohol. Well, we have to-go drinks, and that is the thing down in the South, is to-go drinks, and you can get stuff to go. All right. Alaska. No getting drunk in a bar. No getting drunk in a bar.
Yeah, bear with me. I'm shuffling things.
Things.
Well, I'm shuffling things around because I have to be able to see that, but I also want to see the comments. I was not able to... okay, so Eddie was out hunting the other day and was not able to track the buck. I hate that.
That sucks. I'm
but
sorry.
If it's any consolation to you, something is going to have a really good meal.
Well, he said apparently it clotted and lived.
What? I saw the arrowhead. That was bright, bright red.
Yeah, that was lungs. All right.
Okay.
Alaska. Go.
So yeah, Alaska, no getting drunk in a bar. I don't... This seems a little odd to me because I've heard of public intoxication laws. I've never heard of bar intoxication laws. This seems odd.
So this also says that a person who is already drunk may not knowingly enter a bar to drink more or remain in the bar that got them drunk in the first place.
So you can go to a bar stone sober, but as soon as you're drunk, you have to leave.
You have to leave.
I wonder
And
if
you can't go in if you've already been drinking.
I wonder if Alaska also has public intoxication laws, because that would be an interesting conundrum of you can't stay here, but if you go outside, you're breaking the law.
I don't know. I guess it's a good thing that I don't drink, so.
It seems odd to me.
Okay, who's next?
Arizona.
Arizona. Oh gosh, you said it.
No spitting in public.
Okay, I can get behind that.
I mean, I think okay.
I mean, as a law,
$2,500 and 6 months in prison, though.
that's a little.
That is.
When was this implemented? In 2020?
I don't know. On principle, I kind of think if you spit in public, like it's tactless and it's tacky. But
I agree.
I put this in the boat of, yeah, it's rude, but is it worth $2.5 grand and 6 months in prison? And I'm like, you are out of your freaking mind. Mm-hmm. Like if that's more than a $10 ticket, that's ridiculous.
That sounds like some old biddy got up in there and said that she didn't like it, and that's why she...
That's how most laws get passed. Some old biddy, some Karen, some grouchy old fart gets their knickers in a twist, and they go complain to people that they believe, should listen to them because of their money and their whatever in the community, and they get stupid laws passed.
True.
Ergo, put somebody in prison for 6 months for spitting on the sidewalk.
No, you think that this is still... I get that that's still in the books or on the books, but... well, hang on. It says just in the town of Goodyear, Arizona, not just in Arizona, period. So this is just hopefully a little village of nothing.
But...
It's there.
It's still 6 months in prison.
I know, I get
And I would say that if I thought you were about to say, do you really think this is enforced? But let me just point out that there is no law so trivial that the state or the federal government will not put you in prison and ruin your life to enforce it.
I understand that.
So that's why I believe when doing a public service and calling out, congressional stupidity. Arkansas. I remember this one. This is going to make you question life.
Okay, I'm ready.
Must pronounce the state name correctly. Visitors beware. It is strictly prohibited to pronounce Arkansas incorrectly. Per the state code, the only acceptable pronunciation is in 3 syllables with the final S silent, the A in each syllable with the Italian sound, what the hell, however that's supposed to be, and the accent on the first and last syllables. So keep your Arkansas to yourself while you're at it. Make sure you're pronouncing these common food words correctly. I don't see any mention here of what the penalty is, but
say it right.
I'll say it however the hell I want. I dare them to put me in jail for it. Arkansas, get over yourselves.
Arkansas. You gotta
Arkansas.
No, you gotta put.
I'm going to intentionally mispronounce it now.
You gotta put a little twang in there. It's Arkansas.
I'm going to intentionally mispronounce it now. First of all, because their football team is horrible, and second of all, because
you follow football.
Well, I love anything I can use to insult the fine people of that state. I'm all about at this point.
What he meant to say was ooh, woo, pig suey. Isn't that what it is? Yes.
Woo, pig.
Moving on. Good night.
California.
Oh, well, come on. We've only got a few more minutes in this podcast.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have enough time for California.
No nuclear weapons. It is illegal to build, maintain, or use a nuclear weapon within Chico, California city limits.
A law that began in the 80s as a serious anti-nuke statement has taken on a second life as an internet joke, mainly due to the purported consequences. In addition to self-annihilation, the infraction also carries a $500 fine.
But here's the interesting part. So I found out recently I found. Do you know what the National Firearms Act is? Forgive my wife. She's not like.
I'm sorry.
She's not as spun up on gun laws as I am, but apparently you can file NFA paperwork to manufacture a nuclear weapon in this country.
Really?
Now, here's the problem.
But you can't.
Hold on.
Okay.
There's no way the ATF will approve it, but apparently, like, that process is built into the NFA that if the government contracted you to build a nuke for them, you would have to file this paperwork, or you'd have a Class 3 SOT, and you wouldn't have to file the paperwork, but you'd have to pay the tax stamp for the friggin' nuke. So. But understand, it's one of these moments in time where I see something like, well, this is illegal, and the penalty is a $500 fine. I'm like, so what you're saying is it is legal for a price.
I do remember the Boy Scout who made the reactor. I remember hearing about that. Was that in the 80s? Eddie, if you're going to comment, you got to comment.
Someone's Boy Scout troop had a lot more fun than mine did, apparently.
I remember, I don't know, I'm not going to even say that because it's probably wrong, but I want to say he went from his bedroom to his garage, and it got bigger and bigger, and like he really did make it, and then word got out, and he was raided.
But here's my question. If you happen to have a nuclear weapon at your house, who the hell is going to come over and try to give you the fine? I have a nuke!
Yeah, well, I don't know. Early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, I think that's about the right. All right, Colorado.
No catapulting.
Dang. I wanted to catapult something in Aspen.
Not allowed to own a catapult.
Okay. Flaming arrows, alas, are also off limits.
Yeah, killjoys.
Dang.
Connecticut. I can only imagine. Pickles must bounce. A pickle cannot be sold unless it bounces. According to a 1948 article, this law became a necessity after two scheming pickle packers tried to sell pickles unfit for human consumption on the sly. Connecticut's Food and Drug Commissioner at the time proclaimed that a real pickle should bounce when dropped from a height of 1 foot, leading to a new state regulation.
Wow.
So, bouncy pickles.
Interesting. Okay, pickles must bounce. Like those boots.
Delaware. Delaware. Strict trick-or-treating times in force. To prevent mischief of any sort, children in the city of
Rehoboth.
It sounds like some fruity place that really rich
Beach.
people live, which is probably exactly why this law got passed.
Karens and Carls.
May only go trick-or-treating between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. on Halloween, unless Halloween falls on a Sunday. In that case, such going door-to-door and house-to-house retreats shall take place on the evening of October 30th instead. Mm-hmm. Can we please not co-parent with the government? Like, can I decide what time my child goes out to trick-or-treat with consenting adults with my supervision? Is that asking too much?
I mean, when I was a kid, your parents didn't even go with you. And you certainly didn't get bussed around to neighborhoods. We walked that whole town. And we didn't get back until after dark. Bags full of candy. That's all.
But y'all didn't have strictly enforced trick-or-treat times?
No.
Thank God. Florida.
Okay.
Now.
This is going to be nuts.
It's the home of Florida Man.
Keep going.
No selling children.
Stop. What? It is a felony to sell your children.
I feel like you don't need a specific law to govern that, but maybe I'm wrong.
I want to know when that was instituted. Because in the Great Depression, people were selling their children for little bits of money. Ooh, that's interesting. I want to look that up. Why, or when that one came into effect. No selling children in Florida.
Yeah, Eddie was saying he liked going to the rich white neighborhoods because they gave out the full-size candy bars.
That's true.
Look, I'm telling you, like, Halloween is serious business. If you know where to go hit, you can rack up.
I mean, yeah, that's what we do now is we go because nobody trick or treats in our neighborhood.
The
So we bring
curmudgeons around
Piper.
here don't do it.
We bring Piper to other neighborhoods where her friends are, but I was going to say something that was cheeky.
Was it about selling children?
It was about you can't sell your children in Florida, but we sure as hell are going to show them all sorts of inappropriate things at Disney and Nickelodeon and Universal.
But that's brave. So yeah, no selling children in Florida.
Dang it.
Georgia. Can't eat fried chicken with utensils. So,
All right, Tommy.
for chicken chompers in Gainesville, Georgia's finger licking is not a suggestion, it is mandatory. Thanks to a 1961 law added to the city code as a publicity stunt, it is illegal to eat fried chicken in the poultry capital of the world with anything other than your fingers.
A tourist was arrested for such a chicken forking violation in 2009. I know how to speak, I promise. I know how to read as well. It's finger licking good, though.
I marvel.
I want some fried chicken.
I would.
I don't eat fried. Oh, I do eat fried chicken with a fork. It depends on the cut of meat. Am I eating the breast or am I eating a thigh? Am I eating a leg?
Well, and I'll be the first to admit that when you
Or
have
drumstick.
when you have a beard like this, like sometimes I use a fork to scrape the meat off and then I'll eat it because if I'm just doing this, I'm gonna end up with all the grease and everything in my beard. So like, but this is like the spitting on the sidewalk thing. Am I gonna quietly judge you if you're eating fried chicken with a fork? Maybe a little bit, but you're seriously gonna tell me that a tourist was arrested for eating fried chicken with a fork?
It is in quotes. So a tourist was arrested. And there is a link there. So it'd be interesting to see what they're actually talking about. I can't imagine that someone was actually arrested in 2009 for eating chicken with a fork or cutting it up.
There is no law so ridiculous that the state will not put you in prison to enforce it. I will continue to say that until people understand.
Okay, they were arrested. I wonder what happened. Did they serve time or were they fined?
If I have to pay a fine because I choose to eat fried chicken with a fork,
I'm not
I want
suggesting that-
look, I am a libertarian. I veer towards conservatives most of the time. I am not a big, like defund the police person, but I will happily say that any police officer, any police department that arrests a person for eating fried chicken with a fork, that whole department deserves to get shut down if they don't fire that stupid SOB. That is full stop ridiculous.
Are you going to have a Phil rant over fried chicken?
No, I'm going to have a Phil rant over someone's freaking autonomy being violated over something so stupid and meaningless as eating fried chicken with a fork.
Okay, keep going.
Hawaii. No billboards. Hawaii's natural beauty is an advertisement unto itself. To keep it that way, the state has officially outlawed billboards with some exceptions and aerial advertising. So, I don't know, like,
I'm behind it. Sure, no billboards.
I am behind it so long as it is enforced across the board. Like, if we're not going to have billboards, we're not going to have billboards. But we're not going to have no billboards for you and billboards for you. Because the minute you start getting that double standard, I'm going to start looking at you sideways like that is probably being enforced selectively based on whose pockets got lined.
I don't know. We can ask your mom and dad when they get back from Hawaii next year. I see. I'm for that one too, Eddie. I am okay because I don't know what it's like in other states, but in Louisiana, the lawyer billboards every half mile. Have you been injured in a car accident? Call Morse Bart.
I will
Call
say that
such and such.
I will say that when you get far enough outside of these cities and you get into some pretty broad expanses of just like interstate woods, it is still beautiful.
Yeah.
But I agree.
That's what they're doing there.
I agree with you. The billboard vomit is kind of.
Mm-hmm. Well,
God,
in Hawaii, there's such small islands that
Yeah.
Why take all that up with billboards?
It's real bad when you're heading into Mississippi and you're going like into Gulfport, Biloxi. I mean, hell, there's a billboard every 75 yards.
For all of the
casinos
all
and
the
everything.
casinos down there.
Yeah. So that one, I'll allow it.
Also outlawed the poor in certain areas of Hawaii, is what Eddie said.
Oh no, they didn't outlaw the poor. They just set their houses on fire. Keep up, Eddie. Keep up.
Ouch.
Hey,
Too soon.
All I'm saying,
I'm joking.
Oprah's mansion didn't burn down. I'm just saying, maybe we should look into that.
I know. Idaho.
No, you're not. No cannibalism.
Dang.
What do you mean I can't eat people?
I know, Phil got it. All right, Idaho is the only state to have an active ban in cannibalism. Technically not a crime in the rest of the nation, cannibalism is defined as the non-consensual consumption of another human, meaning, we guess, if you can get your buddy's permission to eat his tenderloin, the feds can't stop you.
So what you're saying is it's legal to eat somebody if they consent to it in advance.
Only if the tenderloin is not behind a cod piece.
It might be. But that is the most base libertarian, yes, you may eat me, you have my permission.
Never mind. I was going to say something else.
I'm confused about this whole non-consensual part because that's defined in the law. Why did they have to say non-consensual? Why didn't they just say consumption of another human being? They specifically made it to where if you eat someone without their permission, it is cannibalism. But the inference is that if it's consensual, it's not cannibal. It's legal.
Could it then be that cod piece with spikes? Yikes. Could it be like, for instance, say, I don't know about lakes in Idaho, but maybe we're hiking or something, and I fall and break my leg, and you have a broken leg as well, or something, and I say to you, "Look, dude, if I die first, eat me." You can totally eat. I don't want to finish this. We're moving on. This just got really weird. Oh my God. Illinois.
Okay.
You have to keep going. No fancy bike riding. Oh, dang. Galesburg City law strictly prohibits fancy riding of any bicycle on city streets, particularly riding with both hands removed from the handlebars, both feet removed from the pedals, or any acrobatic shenanigans on your fancy velocipede? Whatever.
That was what the early bicycles were called.
Velocipede.
You remember the huge front wheel, the tiny little back wheel? Yeah.
According to a Galesburg police officer, I suspect the trick riding ordinance came during a time of concern about bicyclist safety and perhaps crashes involving bicyclists. It is seldom enforced. Seldom meaning that it is sometimes enforced.
I posit that this was almost certainly not a public safety initiative because they rarely are. It was probably some grouchy old biddy who was upset because somebody was riding their bicycle in a way that upset them.
Probably. Okay, keep going.
Those damn kids. Indiana. Proper black cat etiquette on Friday the 13th in the municipality of French Lick Springs. Interesting already. All black cats must wear bells around their necks on Friday the 13th. The rule was introduced on October 13th, 1939 as a war measure to alleviate mental strain on the populace and has technically been in effect ever since.
Okay. Friday the 13th is next month, so...
But this is...
Oh, yeah. Well, it is. Next month...
Do we know anybody in Indiana that can confirm this? It's just in this little town.
No, but I'm sure we can find somebody. Where is it? In French Lick
Lick
Springs? I bet there's articles about it from French Lick Springs that says, Friday the 13th is coming up, so make sure your black cats have bells on. That one's just fun. I think that's a funny one.
Iowa, no faking your butter.
Absolutely, Iowa. This one
should
better be on
if
the books.
If you sell fake butter, it should be a felony.
I agree. Any person who attempts to pass off margarine, oleo, or oleomargarine, are you okay?
Oleo and margarine.
As real butter is guilty of a simple misdemeanor in the state of Iowa, punishable by up to 30 days in jail and a $625 fine.
I would argue that putting
it on all the books.
Putting the word butter on any of those products in any sort of a marketing ploy should be like, maybe not death penalty, but like public flogging at least.
Somebody told me today that the reason why I get bloated is because of butter. At work, they told me that the reason why we bloat after we go out to eat is because we cook with a lot of butter.
So the fact that we cook with butter here and then we go out to eat, we bloat after we go out to eat. Because you and I both know they ain't baking crap with butter when we go out to eat. It's all seed oils and junk. By the way, if anybody out there in listener land is a dietitian or nutritionist, I would love to have y'all come on this show to talk about.
I would too.
Like,
this isn't my show, but I'd love to listen.
Well, either Raising Values or Matter of Facts, or both. Hell, we could do a big old group show. But I would love to have a nutritionist or a dietitian come on, because like we've kind of leaned really heavily into this whole no seed oils, no preservatives, the really hippy dippy stuff. And I literally got told the other day, I hope your arteries clog because you eat eggs and meat.
Okay, but it has to be someone, and I know it has to be someone that actually believes outside of FDA guidelines, because when I was pregnant, the third trimester, I developed gestational diabetes, which, my God, if the pregnancy already wasn't hard enough, gestational diabetes added on top of that made it even harder. But so my doctor was like, you have to see this nutritionalist, blah, blah, blah. Well, the nutritionalist basically told me I was the words came out of her mouth, I'm killing my baby if I don't start eating better. So if it's going to be a nutritionalist, I would like it to be someone who has their head on straight and it's not just a mouthpiece for the FDA.
Yeah. Well, I've long said that the USDA food pyramid should be turned upside down. Is it FDA? FDA is
USDA.
Well, USDA is the food pyramid. FDA is drug regulations.
Well, not just so both, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. Next, don't fake your butter.
Don't fake your butter. Fake butter is gross. Kansas, no snowballs.
Wait, you're leaving at steak? I didn't have steak. Okay, have fun. I hope it was cooked in butter. All right, bye, Eddie.
Kansas, no snowballs.
Okay, when I think of snowballs, I do not think of the stuff that falls from the sky. Snowballs here are literally a dessert. It's like shaved ice with syrup, different sugary syrups on it, or even ice cream. They could be stuffed snowballs and things like that. So,
but in this case, it's literally illegal to throw snowballs.
In Topeka, Kansas.
What in the hell is the point of living in a place where it snows?
Wait. It says it's unlawful to throw any stones, snowballs, or any other missiles at any person on property in Topeka, Kansas. Ah, okay. Tossing a whopper at a snowy tree and... Wait. Former Mayor Bill Bunton publicly flouted by tossing a whopper at a snowy tree in 2005. And he said, I'm going to have an ordinance drawn up to repeal this dumb law lest our already crowded prisons are filled up with children who, while making a snowman, got carried away and had a snowball fight, he later claimed. Wow. Ugh. Okay.
There is no point to living in a hellish place that snows if you can't throw snowballs at people.
Hey, Kansas, ridiculous. That's Brian. Brian, let us know. Can you throw snowballs in Topeka, Kansas?
And if
I don't remember where you are. But.
And all I can say is, like, if our mayor said this law is dumb and I'm going to violate it in front of everybody, that's pretty based, actually.
Yeah.
That's worthy of re-election.
It's weird to hear you say based.
Kentucky.
Let's see. Wait, Joe says FDA is BS. Cook with lard and bacon grease. Eat red meat and traditional meals. Agreed.
Hallelujah.
Kentucky. Kentucky, no dueling.
Party poopers.
All public officials and attorneys in Kentucky must swear an oath that they have not fought a duel with deadly weapons, nor acted as a second in another person's duel. Good to know now. Unfortunately, when the oath took effect in 1848, many would-be duelists turned to murderous street brawls instead. Okay, Alexander Hamilton was involved in at least 10 duels.
I mean, if you can't almost murder a colleague, then what's the point?
Hamilton.
Oh, God. Louisiana.
Dun, dun, dun.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
No catfish stealing.
Yes, I agree.
I agree with this. This is not like fine worthy. This should be prison if you steal somebody's catfish.
Okay, wait. They say catfish here, but this is what it says. In Louisiana, it is illegal to steal someone else's crawfish. Like, really illegal. Meriting its own state law, crawfish theft in excess of $1,500 can land the offender with up to 10 years prison time or a $3,000 fine, but mostly they will have to endure the humiliation of being called shellfish for the rest. That's so stupid.
Yes.
Also, what is stupid is that whoever wrote this article doesn't know the difference between crawfish and catfish. They're two separate. I mean, they're not. Crawfish is an arthropod. Catfish are fish.
But for the audience not familiar, this is because like catching crawfish is big business down here, and a lot of people do it with pots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's cages. You put cages in the when I was in high school, we would go to the local like streams or whatever, and we would put it was these little, I don't know, cages. I don't know what else to call them. But you would tie bacon or pork or something to the bottom so it would attract the crawfish. You pulled it up and there you go. But, I mean, now it's just such a huge market and industry in Louisiana. Like, you can't, as soon as Mardi Gras till the beginning of summer, that is crawfish season. You are going to have a crawfish bowl probably every weekend somewhere, some house. Anyway.
But the point remains, if you're caught fooling around with somebody else's crawfish pot, it's a bad day.
Yeah.
Although if you do it in the right part, in the wrong part of Louisiana, they won't call the police. You just won't get found.
That's true. You'll be fed to the crawfish.
Well, they won't feed you to anything. They just deal with the problem out there, and the local wildlife will take care of all the evidence for you.
Literally just said that.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be like walking onto someone's sugarcane field or corn field or whatever and, just helping yourself to the crop. So I'm for it. Don't steal people's crawfish. Don't steal people's crawfish off their plate either. Like, this is my pile of crawfish. You get your own pile of crawfish.
This lady's territorial about her crawfish.
Man, I can put down 10, 20 pounds of crawfish myself.
Seen it. Maine.
Okay.
Don't advertise on tombstones. What happened to cause this to be a law? It is forbidden to post advertisements on another person's tombstone in the city of Wells, part of a lengthy list of cemetery regulations. This ordinance is really a favor to would-be marketers. Nobody is a worse customer than a corpse. But what happened to cause this to become a law or a regulation? Like, did somebody
just because you're not honoring the dead?
Or it makes me wonder if, like, a funeral home or, like, somebody who makes tombstones try to put their logo or something on the tombstone.
Could be.
Now,
a common thing that, it's not so common anymore, but it was at one point, was on the back of the tombstone or even maybe on the front of the tombstone, they would have that person's, like, whatever famous recipe they were known for, they would have that recipe imprinted on the tombstone so it could continue to be shared. And a lot of times it was in this person's handwriting. They would just copy it onto the tombstone. Anyway, I thought that was cool.
Maryland. No cursing while driving.
Oh, well, hell, you better come get me now because
I would have a life sentence.
I'll be right next to you. They'd probably stick a needle in my arm for that.
For some of the stuff I've heard you tell people while driving.
I am bad. I make no
She's got a really good filter when she's like in person with somebody, but when when it's just us in the car, oh my God.
People,
I get uncomfortable sometimes the stuff you say.
just drive. Get off the phone and drive.
No.
And it's mainly women, and it's just...
It is not just hang up the phone and drive.
Okay, well...
There is a smattering of words in there.
I can't drive in Maryland. Also, how are they going to know if I'm cursing in my car?
The NSA
Wait,
listens.
making road rage even ragier, it is illegal to swear or curse upon any street or highway in Rockville, Maryland. Anyone caught swearing faces a misdemeanor charge, effectively having to add $100 to the city swear jar.
Do you see what Joe's saying? One day my wife's going to get my butt kicked in traffic.
Yeah.
Joe.
And she's probably... You better just be packing, Joe, because I don't blame her.
Pretty sure he is.
I'm sure he is, but I'm just saying.
Massachusetts. No dancing to the national anthem.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think it's a good tune to dance to.
1917, the law was put on the books. Well, as you try to ponder what that dance would even look like, find solace in the fact that this law could never actually be enforced, thanks to a slightly weightier document called the First Amendment. I'm liking it.
Yes, thank God for that.
But it's in Massachusetts. Okay, moving on, because that just pisses me off.
Michigan.
All right, Michigan.
Bounty hunting encouraged, then not. This will be interesting. Until 2006, every citizen of Michigan was encouraged to be a bounty hunter. A 1941 act titled An Act to Provide for the Payment of Bounties for the Killing of Starlings and Crows offered any citizen a bounty of 3 cents per each starling killed and 10 cents per crow, so long as they were presented in a state of good preservation. The law was repealed in 2006. So this sounds very similar to the law we have on the books
For Nutria.
for Nutria, whatever, Nutria-rats.
Nutria rats,
Okay, now,
which are an invasive species, but so are starlings. Crows are not. Crows are indigenous to North America, but as far as I know, but starlings are not. And the story that I heard, and I don't know if this is true because I haven't done any research, European starlings were brought overseas by Edgar Allan Poe. And that's what started the whole starling thing. Now, starlings are beautiful birds. They're iridescent in the sunlight, and they're the ones that make those beautiful patterns in their flight when they're all together. You've seen them like these little balls that kind of just, yeah. So they're beautiful birds. I love them. And I love crows. Crows are actually one of my favorite birds. Starlings are right up there with them.
definitely a witch.
There's my 3 favorite birds are all black. The red-winged blackbird is my second. And that's my first. Then crows, then starlings. Anyway, go ahead.
So
Sorry.
yeah, this is very similar to the ordinance down here in Louisiana that Bessemer is still in the books because like
Oh, absolutely it is.
I was deployed with several guys that were from like Homa and like further south in Raceland, if you're familiar with that area, and they told me that like that's how they used to make spare money when they were like pre-teens is
Yeah, because the price on rat tails, the nutria tails just went up, I think, to $6 per tail.
Yeah, so
you
get
can kill
yourself
them and then
you get yourself a brick of 22 and sit out on a levee or sit out by a pond for a while and you could make
they're
yourself some
bad.
cash.
In fact, nutria is one of the reasons why our wetlands are being destroyed at such an astronomical
Because they're
rate.
just eating it.
They eat the whole thing, like a football field size a day. Anyway, all right, bounty hunters. Minnesota?
No pig greasing.
Long winters can be boring, but that's no good reason to hold a greased pig contest in your parlor. In 1971, it has been considered a misdemeanor to operate, run, or participate in any activity where a pig is oiled up and released with the object of being recaptured. And the same goes for turkey scrambles. I can get behind that.
Does it hurt the
kind of
pig?
like, I mean, I'm sure it could. Whoever's going to like fall onto to catch the pig, it could hurt the pig. It could break their legs. This is also like there's somewhere in Louisiana, and I can't remember where. I think it. Anyway, there's a lake somewhere in Louisiana where they do a snake rodeo, and I think that should be banned because they go in, and the person who kills the most snakes out of the pond or this lake wins this major prize. Well, they're not just the whole thing was, well, we're going to kill all the venomous snakes. Well, you need the venomous snakes as part of the ecosystem. So, and then now you just have dumb people who are just killing a snake to kill a snake, and they're killing, I mean, venomous, non-venomous, they're both beneficial animals. So I don't know. I think it should be totally outlawed. Mississippi.
Our neighbors to the east.
I have a feeling what this one's going to say.
No limits on big gulp size.
I was not ready for that one.
Mississippi believes in a person's inalienable right to consume big gulps, following former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg's contentious attempt to restrict the size of soft drinks sold throughout the city. Mississippi Governor Phil Rabalais signed a law preventing his state's lawmakers from enacting rules that limit portion sizes, something that was highly unlikely to ever happen in the state of Mississippi anyway, and was obviously just a virtue signal. And
I remember when that was passed.
I'm kind of remembering this too.
Yeah.
And I will say that, like, I think this is kind of a goofy law, but then again, I think Bloomberg's regulation was just as stupid. Like,
yeah.
You know. On that being said, like, I don't have an issue with an adult drinking themselves to an early death because they just want to consume, high fructose corn syrup until their heart explodes. On that being said, though, I kind of feel a certain way about kids. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's when the parents need to be a part of this.
I agree with that. I will only offer that. I know somebody out there is going to say, what if the parents are morons?
Well, then natural selection takes its course.
Damn.
I mean, come on.
Missouri. Tarzans not welcome. Prankish Tarzans be warned. In University City, Missouri, it is illegal to swing upon another person's motor vehicle and honk their horn for them.
What the hell? What the hell?
There's a story there. There's a story.
Yeah, there's a couple of research projects here.
Yeah, there's definitely something happened to encourage this to become a law, and I'm morbidly curious now.
Joe, are you from Missouri? I guess we never figured out that if you're from Missouri or not. But no, you can't be Tarzan, Joe. Sorry. Maybe for Halloween.
Montana, no fulf. Anyone who's driven through Montana has inevitably wondered, how far could I throw a frisbee over the plains?
Yeah, I wonder that all the time.
I stay up at night wondering. Those who seek answers avoid Helena. It is illegal to play golf, that's frisbee golf, anywhere not deemed a sanctioned golf course. Curiosity could cost you $500 or 6 months in Huntston jail.
I mean, is frisbee that big of a thing in Montana? That's crazy.
Is someone throwing a frisbee that big of a deal that we have to pass a law to put them in jail for 6 months?
Okay, so it says, have you ever, inevitably wondered how far can you throw a frisbee over the plains? As you're driving by, I just have to say this. Does anyone else, and you can comment now if you're watching or whatever, but you have to text me or something. When you were driving down the road, and maybe you were a kid, maybe you're an adult, because I still do this every now and then. The intrusive thought is, what if I had a saw that went out from our car, and as we roll down the road, it's just cutting the trees down at the exact same level all the way down? I can't be the only one who thought that. Like, you just going down the road.
There are conversations we should have had before we got married.
I've told you this. Because I even talked to Piper about it in the truck one day.
Hey guys, the pretty ones are extra crazy.
Maybe so. Keep it moving. We've got stuff to do.
Nebraska. No marriage if you have a VD. Technically, no person afflicted with a venereal disease may get married in Nebraska.
Okay. Good for you. I'm glad you're out of California, where I can't remember the California law. What was the law in California that we just went through?
I don't remember.
Good for you. Glad you're out of California, Joe.
Nevada.
Be selective with x-rays. Say what you will about the vice and commercialism of Las Vegas. At least they're looking out for your feet. In Nevada, it is illegal to use an x-ray device to determine someone's shoe size. That means that somebody's done this. That means that someone has used an x-ray machine to determine the shoe size of someone's foot.
Probably in Las Vegas.
Keep going. Good Lord.
New Hampshire. No seaweed collecting. In New Hampshire, it is forbidden to collect seaweed from the beach at night.
Okay. Darn it. That was on my bucket list.
New Jersey.
Jersey.
No murder while wearing a bulletproof vest.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
It's against the law to murder someone, but in New Jersey, it's double against the law to murder someone while you're wearing a bulletproof vest. So, this is an interesting situation because, like, I don't feel like we need a law to make it double secret illegal to murder people. You know, we already have laws against that. And they carry a pretty strict penalty.
I mean, would they really get slapped with another offense because they're wearing a bulletproof vest?
There is no law so ridiculous the state will not enforce it.
I keep asking these questions, and that is the answer. I know, you're right. Okay. You're right.
New Mexico. Redefining indecent exposure. Walking around with your butt out. In New Mexico, indecent exposure is defined as intentionally exposing one's primary genital area to public view. Buttocks are nowhere to be mentioned.
Wait a second. Walking around with your butt out
is not illegal.
Oh, it does say that. Let's take a break and focus on what is not illegal.
So
walking around with your butt out.
So if you expose your primary genitals to public view, it is indecent exposure, but hanging your butt out of your pants is not. So mooning somebody is legal.
Okay. Well, sometimes you need it. I don't know.
Yes, Joe,
you have to read
the government will kill you, your family, and dog over $200. And anybody that disagrees really should Google Vicky Weaver. And if that upsets you, stick around. I've got plenty more that'll upset you a lot worse. Like Waco, Texas. Next. New York. I can only imagine.
Be a California and a Florida.
Sales tax for sliced bagels. If you order a sliced bagel in New York City...
Forget about it.
Oh, God almighty. Altered bagels, sliced, toasted, or served with cream cheese, etc., carry an 8-cent sales tax. Uncut bagels are typically tax exempt.
Okay. No soup for you.
North Carolina. Be careful with your doggy bag.
Be careful with your doggy bag. Be careful what you put in your doggy bag. In North Carolina, it is a felony to steal more than $1,000 worth of grease, and a misdemeanor to steal under $1,000 worth. Grease theft, it turns out, was a huge problem in North Carolina before this 2012 law passed, with midnight grease bandits persistently preventing biodiesel companies from purchasing restaurants' excess oil to convert into fuel. Oh, I remember when you could go and you could purchase
French fry oil.
Yeah, for your car, for diesel. Yeah.
They were making biodiesel out of it.
So now it's a felony. You can't do that anymore.
Well, no, you just can't. You apparently you have to pay the business. Because
I guess if you're stealing it, yeah. But if you're stealing it, then it's still theft, and so.
Well, but here's the thing. I know this from like the mechanic world. Most mechanic shops have to pay to have their used oil and used fluids taken away, and they take it away and then they sell it to another outfit that'll take it apart and they'll refine it, and because you could reuse motor oil and things like that if you cleanse them of all the impurities and you recondition them and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. But I'm guessing these fast food places were selling the used over fry oil to biodiesel companies, so they were actually getting money for it instead of having to pay somebody to haul it off. And then somebody here was looting the till, stealing the grease.
Gotcha.
North Dakota, no late-night fireworks.
Well, that sounds like a lot of places.
A 1999 amendment allowing the sale of fireworks temporarily from December 26, 1999 through January 1st, 2000. It is illegal to set off fireworks after 11 p.m. in Devils Lake, North Dakota.
All right, so no Happy New Year's to you.
No fun. No fun. Fun's illegal.
No fun. Not in North Dakota.
Ohio. Toilet paper in coal mines. Operators of underground coal mines must provide an adequate supply of toilet paper with each toilet.
Okay. What is the punishable offense?
Doesn't say.
What is... Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Oklahoma, no bear wrestling. I feel like this is one of those laws you don't need.
Another.
Just let nature take.
Always wanted to do this.
Let nature win. Like, this problem will fix itself.
Going back up to the other one with the toilet paper, it should be illegal everywhere because this is kind of an embarrassing story. I got stuck in the bathroom today at work because there was no toilet paper in the stall. And so I called my principal, I called the accounts manager, and I called the admissions director, all to help me, bring me toilet paper. No one answered. I had to call the school from my phone. I had to call the front desk to get toilet paper in the bathroom. I should have looked. I know I should have looked before I sat down.
Should we get you like a little sandwich bag and like flat package some toilet paper for emergencies?
No, the people that need to be putting toilet paper in stalls at school need to do that.
That's a prep or fail.
Anyway, go back. We're done. I just had to say it.
Oklahoma, no bear wrestling. I feel like we can take this law off the books and just let nature take its course.
Yep.
Like if you're gonna wrestle with a bear,
prep or fail. I know, Joe. I know.
If you're gonna wrestle with a bear, you're either a much better man than I am, or you deserve what's gonna happen next. I'm trying to go through these because we've been going for a while
Yes.
and we have a walk.
Yes.
Oregon, no test of physical endurance while driving.
Oh, for heaven's sake! It is considered a speed racing offense in Oregon if you participate in any test of physical endurance while on the highway. Sorry, y'all. No more seeing how long you can work the steering wheel with your teeth.
Pennsylvania, bingo is only for non-felons. No person convicted of a felony may operate a bingo game in Bensalem, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's what they're so afraid of not committing a felony for.
Rhode Island, don't impersonate an auctioneer.
Okay, I don't know very many people that can impersonate an auctioneer, so...
But in Rhode Island, it's against the law.
Yes.
South Carolina, no working or dancing on Sundays. It is illegal to work on...
Bible Belt.
In South Carolina, it is still illegal to work on Sundays. Bad news, it is also illegal to dance on Sundays.
Baptists. Yeah,
our daughter.
You can't dance in the Baptist religion.
I'm not sure if I'm raising a libertarian or a straight anarchist. I think it depends on how angry she is that day. But either way, her willingness to question authority is heartwarming.
It does say at the end of this, though, that these antiquated laws are in the process of being repealed.
It's 2023. It should have been repealed already.
South Dakota?
Fireworks approved to help with farming. Farmers in South Carolina have South Dakota, sorry, have the green light to set off fireworks or explosives to protect their sunflower crops, so long as they are 660 feet away from the nearest church, home, or schoolhouse. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing to frighten birds away.
Birds, yep.
Tennessee, permits for panhandling. So,
what?
Panhandlers in Memphis must apply for a permit before panhandling. Formerly, this formality cost the destitute $10. Today, it's free. And what the hell is the point of applying for a permit if it's free?
We have panhandlers here in Mandeville, and people were trying to get them banned from doing it. And now it is illegal in some places. I think it is actually illegal to do it here. But when the city government brought it to a judge, the judge threw it out because it's their First Amendment right to panhandle. Anyway.
Yeah. Texas, keep litter on aircraft. It is illegal in Galveston, Texas, to throw litter out of an aircraft. I mean,
He's speechless, y'all.
I'm just. What situation caused this to become a law?
Probably little, like, little
piston
personal.
popper.
Yeah, and they just open the window and throw out their garbage.
Utah, no missiles in bus terminals. Hurling a missile, so this is like a rock or something, into a bus terminal is a felony unless you are an appointed officer of the peace or commercial security personnel.
Mall cop. Okay. Don't throw things at the bus terminals.
Can I just say that I hate laws that have exemptions for law enforcement? Like, you and I have this conversation every now and then where I'm like, if it's such a bad thing that the average person shouldn't be able to do it, why the hell do we let people in polyester uniforms do it? It's dangerous or it's not. But I digress. Love my law enforcement officers. Just sometimes I wish that, y'all had to follow the same rules the rest of us
Vermont
do.
looks like a gun on its side.
They're probably really upset about that.
That's okay. They'll be okay.
Clotheslines be gone. Vermont passed a law just to say there would never be a law prohibiting the use of clotheslines. Why do you need a law to make sure that they don't pass another law?
Piper's face right now, you should see it. What?
We're
That's what
talking
she keeps
about
going, "What?"
stupid laws in different states.
We're going over that article that your dad shared with you the other day.
Virginia, no skunks as pets.
Aww.
I am angry about this.
Yeah, you can have their little scent glands removed, and then they make...
Skunks are adorable.
Skunks are adorable. I agree. I like skunks.
Washington. We gotta be getting down to the bottom of it. No Sasquatch poaching. What? It is illegal to poach a Sasquatch in at least 2 Washington counties. In 1991, Whatcom County, I'm assuming, county declared it roughly 1 million acres of land an official Sasquatch protection and refuge area, giving our nation its first Bigfoot sanctuary. If Bigfoot exists.
It does.
Lawmakers reason it would be an endangered species and therefore need a protection. For this reason, Skamania County has considered Bigfoot poaching a felony since 1969, still punishable by a $1,000 fine.
I mean, if the Rougarou exists, and Sasquatch does.
It ain't illegal to kill the Rougarou, you just can't do it because they'll take you out.
The Rougarou will?
The Rougarou will take you out.
I know. I wonder if there's Rougarou sanctuaries in Louisiana.
Hell no, there's no Rougarou. The Rougarou don't need no sanctuary. He's the Rougarou.
I know. I guess you better go to sleep during the Fado-Do.
West Virginia. No drones for bird hunting. In West Virginia, it is illegal to use a drone or other unmanned aircraft to hunt birds.
It says while you're out in the woods, you'd better not use a ferret instead of a hunting dog. That's a $100 fine right there. Dang, they're taking the fun. I want to go. Are there such things as hunting ferrets?
I must
We
know
need a
now.
hunting ferret. You could put that in your codpiece. No?
Why did Eddie leave the chat before you dropped that? Wisconsin. This has got to be the last one. Better make that butter delicious.
You better damn well make that butter delicious.
Giving credence to its reputation as America's dairyland, Wisconsin law demands that all cheese and butter produced in the state be highly pleasing. Oh, and cows have the right of way on how. Okay, cows have the right of way on highways is legit because I mean, if you run into a 2,000-pound animal with a car,
my dad
it's a bad day.
My dad would always say right of weight.
It's the truth, though.
It's true. And yeah, that's the second butter law on the books in this country. So butter's important.
Wyoming.
The codpiece episode. He
Don't-
did it, Joe.
Don't buy junk from a drunk. In Wyoming, purchasing scrap metals, rubber, rags, or paper from an intoxicated person is prohibited.
I think that's it, huh?
So do we have a standout in that list of
there is still a law in the books in Louisiana that you have to I want to say you have to honk. You have to get out. Oh, no, it's a lantern. You have to get out of your car and walk your lantern to the front of your car before you can go through the intersection.
This was a city ordinance in my hometown in Slidell.
Yes.
It's now I have not been able to find if this is still an active law, but I know at one time this was, at least as late as about 50 years ago. It was an active city ordinance where in the city of Slidell, where I grew up, if you were going to drive a horseless carriage, that gives you an idea of when this law dates back to, but if you were going to drive a horseless carriage through the city limits, every time you came to an intersection, you had to stop, fire a pistol into the air 3 times, and display a lantern before you could cross the intersection. And this was done specifically because even back then, like Gauze Boulevard, the main thoroughfare, was Highway 190. And that highway was there before the town was. And, there were intersections every so often along that highway. So this was when horseless carriages were these cantankerous, weird things that not many people had, and everybody was still on horses. And the horseless carriages were spooking the horses. So this town passed a law to make it such a pain in the butt. Like, they passed a law specifically to make it such a pain in the butt to drive a car through town, nobody would bother. And at least as of the 70s, because I talked to a gentleman who was a retired law enforcement officer that I used to know just from the area, but he said as of the 70s that law was still actively on the books, and it used to make him laugh his butt off every day he was on duty, because he said I could literally just pull up at any intersection and write people tickets all afternoon for not shooting a gun into the air and displaying a lantern before they cross the intersection.
Crazy.
So yeah, I thought this would be a fun little episode. I did not expect it to take an hour and 20 minutes, but I thought we were due for some fun and poke some fun at absolutely stupid and ridiculous laws. Except the one about stealing somebody's crawfish. That's legit. That should be like Hammurabi's code. Cut your hands off.
Yeah, butter. Anything that has to do with food. Butter, crawfish. Those are all legit laws. Keep them on the books. Don't mess with the butter. Don't mess with the crawfish. I did want to say, though, because the Patreon group came up and being a patron and all that stuff, there is another perk to being a patron, and that is our annual patron camping trip, which is always fun. And this year, no, not this year. So we've already taken the trip this year. We did it in April, and we went to Arkansas, to beautiful state park up there. Next year, we're going to Tennessee.
In the summer.
And you can tent camp, you can get cabins, you can do whatever. Anyway, so if you are a patron, you're invited to those camping trips. If you're not a patron, sucks for you. You should be a patron. It's $1. So feels like, God, she's on a roll tonight.
I got to take her out walking to get some of this energy out of her.
Our first year, I think we had 12 people. Last year, we had 21. And so it just keeps growing, and we literally do nothing. I say that. We sit around a bonfire, and we talk, and we cook, and I don't, but a lot of them get, sloshed. We do a lot of touristy stuff, a lot of hikes. When we went to Hot Springs, it's my favorite town in all of America, I think. But next year is going to be in June in Tennessee, and that's just one of the perks. The other perk is that you're a patron, and you get to be a part of this group of...
knuckleheads?
Yeah, we'll go with knuckleheads. Something where, we talk about cod pieces a lot. Anyway, I would love for more women to be in our patron group, but right now I'm stuck with all the men. Anyway...
Olivia Chester.
Olivia's in there, yes, and she's not in the patron group, but we do.
Yes, she is.
Not Olivia. I'm talking about what was her name at Prepper Camp? I know what her name is, but y'all called her something else.
Oh, Willow.
Willow is a patron, and she always comes with her puppies.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But in any case,
be a patron.
So yeah, the Matter of Facts camping trip will be. It will be next summer. It's very different from Prepper Camp that Andrew and I are getting ready to go to. Prepper Camp is its own event, and we're really there to kind of support that event in addition to have indulge in some shenanigans. But the Matter of Facts camping trip is just 100%. No expectations, no schedule, no classes, no nonsense. We literally just
Hang out with our chosen family.
Yeah, we just show up and just bum around the campfire, get to know each other, bring the families. I mean, literally this past year, we had our daughter and two of well, there were a good little group of kids.
There were some kids
from I think from 18 down to 10.
Five.
Five? Oh, I forgot. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they ran the roost. They ran around, and I always made sure I
They got in the water in the lake, and it was 50 degrees at night, so the water was really cold, but they still went swimming.
Kids are invincible, though.
Anyway,
let's go ahead and
show.
Let's go ahead and cap this one off. Matter of Fact's podcast is going to head out the door, and you and I have to go fight the Battle of Bulge.
Did you call me fat?
No, I called myself fat.
You did, and you called me fat.
I called myself fat.
I'm going to go take care of this guy here. So,
Ooh.
y'all have...
Bye, everybody.